Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting figure review. Tonight we're taking a look at the Dungeons & Dragons Lizard Folk and Lizard Folk Shaman from D&D nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. So you get a nice, awesome 2-pack here with 2 different Lizard Folk. The Shaman looks particularly tribal, with all those bones and sticks and feathers, looking very tribal. And then you got this one down here, which looks pretty cool too. He's got like a spear and then like an arm-mounted shield. That's dope as hell. And then you got this nice image of the dragon done in different shades of blues and whites. Really cool. Turning it around, you can see glamour shots up to the figures, but they could look like painted. And I really like the paint designs for these 2 on the box. Primed and paint ready out of the box. WizKids, D&D nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures. Expand your nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures High Definition Collection. For a complete list, visit wizkids.com/unpainted, and then the rest of the box is just all that licensing and legal stuff. And that pretty much wraps up the box on these 2. So without further ado, I'm going to get these guys unboxed, put together, start slinging some paints. Don't go away, there's more figure review to be had. Alright, first off, we'll start with the more basic Lizard Folk out of the 2. And I just painted these guys as shown on the box, or at least attempted to mimic that. And he looks really cool. Despite being just a generic Lizard Folk warrior, he looks pretty good. He's got this arm-mounted shield, which is created from a turtle shell, and then it has blades on the front of it, what I could either see as being bones or some sort of sharp stick. And this is mounted to his arm via some straps connected to his bracers, and then he does have some bracers here on this arm, and he's brandishing a spear, which is made out of a nice stick. There's some wrappings here connecting the spearhead, which appears to be constructed from a rock, to the tip of the spear. And then there's like a nice carving on the bottom here. He is roaring, as you can see from his open mouth, so maybe he's, stomping angrily, roaring at his potential enemy before stabbing them with the spear. When they try to attack him, he's gonna, block with the shield and then slash at them with the spikes on the end of it. So pretty cool. You can definitely make out some sort of story to be had with this one. But basically, I just painted him with like a bright green and then dry brushed a dark green wash over it to bring out the details and the scales. So really nice. But more or less, I just tried to mimic the paint job that was shown on the box, just because I didn't really see anything wrong with the colors they chose, And I don't always have to bring my own thing into the miniatures. I can just paint them how intended, and I like how these turned out, despite them literally just being painted how they look on the box. But there's the first one, putting them off to the side here. And probably the more extravagant one of the 2 is this shaman. He even looks slightly bigger than the other just generic Lizard Folk. So he's got all kinds of bone armor. He's got like a bone headdress, some bone shoulder pads. He's even got some bones hanging off the side of his skirt here. He's got like a loincloth, some, I would assume, animal hide to create these leather bracers. He's even using some magic, which is nice blue. He's got a stick, which has some feathers on the end of it, some nice red wrappings, and an animal skull of some kind. Really cool. Some more feathers on the back of the headdress, and you see that nice fiery mohawk. Some more straps there. He does have this kind of a skirt here, which I think is made up of like straw or something, or like whatever the wood that some of the Aboriginal folks make their straw hats out of. I know it's not straw, but it kind of looks like that. He's got like a beaded necklace, really cool. There's a lot of intricate details with this guy, and I think I painted it pretty decently. I also used some gloss on each of the bases to make it look all muddied, because these are lizard folk after all, and they are very primitive and sort of tribal. In fact, they are tribal, right? As you can tell by the fancy headdresses and all the stuff that kind of comes from nature to make their clothes. All right, here are the lizard folk next to my personal player piece for Wednesday night Dungeons and Dragons, Panjed Kezareth, who is a gold dragonborn. And we have the lizard folk next to some female human oracle magic users, which I have lovingly turned into characters for the Saturday night D&D campaign that I sometimes frequent. And these are Kira DeColt and Alice DeColt. Kira is moody and just very nasty, very cold and calculating, whereas her sister Alice is very friendly, go-lucky, and super eccentric and quirky, unlike her moody, arrogant sister. Then we have the lizard folk next to a turtle druid. And finally, next to the lizard folk, we have a skeleton dragonborn knight. I love these two miniatures. They are some of the best miniatures that I've painted, next to the Odiug. And despite how simple I went with that paint job, I really like how the Odiug turned out. And I like how these ones turned out too. I love how dynamic the poses are. Like, you got the one on the left roaring angrily. He's got like a big arm-mounted shield with some blades coming off the front of it, and he's brandishing a spear, just looking all kinds of badass. And then you got this other one that takes everything from the first one up to 11. He's got a big staff with horns and feathers on it. He's got all kinds of tribal clothing and jewelry that comes from the land with bones and feathers and beads. Everything looks amazing. And I love how these two turned out. In fact, I love these two lizard folk so much that I'm probably going to buy the other three lizard folk that I've seen at my local Bastion Games. That would be the 2-pack with the lizard folk barbarian and the lizard folk clerk, and then buy the medium-sized lizard folk render, because these things just look good. They have a nice presence to them. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.